All right, all right. What's up? What's up? Refresh this guy. Let me look up and see how long the pregame was.
If you need a high-performance portable generator at an unbeatable value, check out Predator Generators from Harbor Freight.
Matt HMM's no longer the big blue M. What's up, Clint Cole? Some way. It's like Jay Atletico said he couldn't make it. Matt's in here. TPG listening. And Russ Albright. What's up, Contreras? So what y'all been into this week? I've only got one question, and it's a question I can't answer. But I told him that I'd post it here and see if maybe somebody else can answer that's got some different veto bags. Because all my veto bags, I tend to have like the smaller-ish ones, and what he's wanting, definitely not gonna, none of the bags I've got's going to work out for him. Asbestos City. What's up, Todd Turner? What's up, Ian McLean? I'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and throw this. Let me get to the pictures of the question. That way, if he looks for this answer. Come around here so I can see. I'm also going to flip this screen just to double check and see. Y'all let me know real fast. I'm going to see my Morgan's maintenance backwards to you all. We'll see if they fix that or not yet. You guys can let me know that. I'm going to stay on this. But so this was BB37. He commented on the MCT video with the comparison between it and the Tech MCT, the MCTP. He said, I like seeing these sorts of comparisons. He said he's got a meter that measures 5 inches wide, 7 inches height, 4 inches deep. He wanted to know if it would fit in the meter pockets. I replied back to him, there's no way anything 4 inches deep is going to fit in any that I know of, any meter pockets on Veto's, little on the bags I've got. And then he said, if I took one of the V-swap panels out or used a V-swap bolt panel, would it fit in one of the main compartments? Thank you. Which with the MCTP and also the MCT, even if you take a panel out, it's still the way theirs is split up. It's still like a half a bag. So it's not very deep no matter what. But I looked up his meter. He said it was a Bird 43 RF watt meter. He occasionally works on two-way radio systems. So I looked that up, and it's this thing right. Let me get this thing out of the way. This thing right here. So if any of y'all know a Veto bag, the 4-inch deep thing is the thing that's going to get you, I think. I told him I don't have the MB5B anymore because the MB5B, and he said he wants a bag. He doesn't really want like an open tote, and then he doesn't really want a backpack. He doesn't mind if he had to have one, that's fine. Like the MB5B, you can convert it to a sling if you want to. I can't remember what the depth on the MB5B is because it's essentially like the MCT splits it up into two sides where the MB5B is all just one bag, but I think it's still a little bit slimmer though. I don't know if 4 inches is good on that. So if y'all have got Veto bags and you can get measurements and see if any of your bags would fit 5 inches wide, 7 inches tall, 4 inches deep, that's what he's looking for. So this week, part of what I did, I'll go ahead and show y'all this too while I got pictures out actually, and then I'll get back into the chat. So, gosh, this iPad drives me crazy sometimes. Where I showed the Odie toilet view was in this here. It's a little hall bathroom in a commercial space. Let's see, I gotta go back the other way. So I took out this vanity, old vanity laminate countertop, took it out, and she wanted me to go ahead. The tile didn't go under that vanity, so I had to take out some of the tile so that I could tie a new tile in, and she wanted to go ahead and floor the whole thing before I put a new vanity in. You can see the little Odie cover right there. Also use the M12 chisel mode to get this old thin setup work pretty good. So tiled all that back in, got it patched in. Where'd my other pictures go? Hang on. Yeah, so there's new vanity, new toilet paper holder. Also added a hand dryer, had to run that from the panel over. So that's one of the things I did this week. While I had that out, I was going to go ahead and show y'all, so that way I can get back to the chat. Let's see. All right. What's up, Ben Riley? What's up, Michael? YouTube Inception, Andrew Kletke. I always liked it better before they swapped it to, like, now everything's mirrored whenever, like, and they say it's been like that the whole time. They're full of it because I've got old lives where it wasn't like that, but I can't see what I'm showing you guys. So now I got to go all the way around the screen to make sure y'all are seeing what I'm wanting you to see. Maybe if he does the bulk swap panel, Ben Riley said, is that on the MB5B, you think? TPXXL is only maybe 3-inch deep. Yeah, I don't think there's any way he'll get that in a meter pocket on any of the bags. I think it would have to go in the bag. One heck of a meter. Yep. Meter pouch is 8 by 4 by 2, so no on the depth. Yeah, I think the 4 inches, that's what I told him. I said, I'm pretty sure the 4 inches is what's going to get you. And like I said, maybe there's the MB5B was the only one I could think of just because how it's all just one spot for tools that he could maybe get it in there, but I don't know. Bathroom rehab. And then I also, in that same space around the other side, but I mean, I just put in a vanity and a sink, roughed it in. There was already one there. So this was a commercial space. It's a place I do a lot of maintenance work, and then also I do some spots when tenants move out and stuff like that. But it's the place where I put on doorknobs there. The ballast was there. The place where I cleaned out the drain around the trash can. It's all this same building. I do quite a bit of work there. And they paid me. The last tenant that moved in didn't want a sink. So I took out the sink, capped off the plumbing behind the wall, patched the drywall, and then now somebody else is moving in and they want a sink. So now I cut the drywall out, got the plumbing back out, and put a sink back in. So I got paid to take it out, paid to put it back in. Quality kind of low today. I did get my other mesh thing in, so hopefully it's working right. But it's supposed to be the same one, but it was a little bit different. But it should still be working, but I don't know. I was curious because let me check my phone because my internet was going in and out on my phone. I don't even know if I can check it on here without messing up something. We'll see. It says I'm connected to the internet or Wi-Fi. So hopefully it doesn't go real bad. Let's see. He is best off on a lip-on bag to a D-ring with some Velcro strapped to it. Clip-on bag. Is the hand dryer 120? Yeah, it was just a small one. I think it pulled like 4.5 amps or something like that. Wasn't nothing significant. One of your Guess the Trade videos, you pointed out a 1/4-inch drive bit that you would use for stubborn knockouts. I don't know. 1/4-inch drive bit that I would use for stubborn knockouts. I can't remember, to be honest with you. What you can do if you can get into it is drill a self tapper into it. If you've got access enough to get to the knockout pretty decent, if you can drill a self tapper in there and then grab a hold of it with something. I'd have to think. So if it was a guess the trade, that means it was in somebody else's bag, whatever it was. So I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Did I say I had the tool too, or was it just somebody else had one? I have it too. I don't know. 1/4 inch drive bit. I'm trying to think of what I use. Anyone else get the new Klein RWB tools from Lowe's? Finally got my blackout strippers. Yeah, my Lowe's haven't put them out yet. Clint's been sending them to me in an email. So Lowe's, if you go into your Lowe's, they got, was it the red, white, and blue, but they called the Freedom Series or something like that. I don't remember what they're called, but they've got a pair of long nose pliers, and they've got a pair of lineman pliers. They've got a pair of screwdrivers that are like these here, red, white, and blue, but this has a square in it. Like these, whenever they came out, were only a Phillips and slotted, but they've got a set with a square in it. I'm interested in getting that. And then I think that was it. I can't remember if you showed me something else, Clint, or not, but I remember the screwdrivers, there's a pair of like flush cuts, I think it was. Do you have a Tech XL wheeler? And if you do you like it? I don't have one. I don't have any of the wheelers in particular. I guess I always thought, which again, this is just the way that I work. If I was somebody who worked in a city and I constantly went from walking upstairs to, walking around sidewalks and all that, then a wheeler would make sense to me. But me personally, it's very rare that I'm like, oh, I need to put my bag on wheels. And if I did, I would probably just use my pack out rolling box or the Klein rolling box for those few jobs that I would need it. And I would just throw my Veto bag in it, would probably be what I would do. Of course, that's not going to help you probably. Like I said, if you're somebody who transitions all the time to going up and down people's stairs, putting it as a backpack, rolling it on a sidewalk, all that kind of stuff, but that's not what I do. So I wouldn't be interested in a wheeler. I would never use it. TPLD with the front V swap removed might fit that meter. Let me find mine. Yeah, and again, I don't know, but he's wanting to carry some tools, which I guess on the TPLD, you'd still have the outside. I don't know how many tools he needs to carry, so he'd still have these outside pouches, I guess. But yeah, actually, I'm going to show him that. I'm going to tell him that. So in case you're watching, BB, whatever it was, let me see what this is. This might be a good fit, and I didn't even think about it till TPG just said that. So that's pretty much right at 4 inches. So if you bought a TPLD, because I'm probably going to send you to this video, you'd still have some side pockets here, along with little small little pockets inside there. Also 3 pockets up in the front and your pockets on the outside of the bag. And your meter would pretty much fit right inside of there. So, because it's 4 inches right up into the point. Again, this is why I hate having my camera this way. Right up into the point of where you're hitting those right there. And then you've got right at 5 inches between the two. And the 7 inches is no problem. But that space right there, that space with the width and the depth is pretty much right at your meter if you take this panel out. So that might be a good fit. Depends on how many tools you need to carry with you though. And you'd still also have, you know, the spot back in there. Got the veto action going on. Unfortunately, I don't always have self tappers on hand. Yeah, I'll have to think about it because I can't think of any. I mean, they make a special. I'm trying to think of a 1/4 inch thing. I mean, they make special tools to do it. Like Racketeers even has something. I can't think of what the name of it is. But I can't think of any bit that I've got that's like a 1/4 inch bit. Did you hear the rumor that Klein's new blackout is made in China, then shipped here, and then but a made in USP? Zapor said. I haven't heard that, but what's up, Sam Lee? None of the new specials at Lowe's for Matt either. Blackout magnet thingy with the set too. That's the other, the other black. There's a blackout screwdriver set that has a square also, but Metabo 18 gauge Brad nailer, $40 at Lowe's. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't need it, but Lyman's screwdriver, needle nose, and flush cutter. Yeah, flush cutter was one I was missing. Won't fit 3 inches, probably 4 inches. No. Yeah, he could take out the front one too if he had to. I mean, you've got a big enough spot inside the TPLD that it will fit, but you right now empty, you can stick some tools up there in the front, but once you put that meter in there, it might close it to where you can't. Or you can only fit like pencils or something in there. Acme told me it was going to be a month plus extra weight and endangered the chance I could get the spring promo bag from my Wheeler backpack, so I canceled. What's up, Jock? He's unwrapping the mint and plastic Veto. Did you get the free bag from the promo? Yeah, I've got the SPMC. I've been using it this week. I've got it loaded out. I made a video. I'll probably release it this weekend. It's not a loadout video of this. I just made a video of this bag coming from the SBLD. But I'm not going to run it with the side pouches on it. I'm just going to run it just like this right here. So far, I like it because it's super light. Like, I don't have a lot of stuff. I'm probably actually even going to take some of the stuff in there that I've got in there out. I was just seeing how much I could fit in there out of the SBLD. TPXXL won't handle 4 inch unless it's double bulk panels, not very usable. Yeah, the 4 inches is a lot, and then that's just a big old meter. And like I said, I didn't even think about the TPLD because I thought of other bags. It's like, well, could fit it in there, but it's like you're not going to be able to fit other tools in there with it. So to me, that defeats the purpose of, if you're not going to be able to carry anything else with it, you might as well just carry it here. But yeah, this one right here might be a good fit for him. Again, just depends on how many tools. You're not going to have a lot of room for other tools, but if he doesn't carry a whole lot of other stuff with him, that might work. I don't know, is the TP XD bigger than the LD? TPXD bigger than the LD? I don't know anybody that's got the XD. I don't even know if I've ever seen an XD. I don't think we've ever even had an XD on the Guess the Trades either, I don't think. I could be wrong, but... And like I said, there might be some of there's definitely bags like the wrencher type bags and stuff like that. But I think he was looking for something that closed up too, the way he talked. But like, there's plenty of those kind of bags. I can't even think what all the names of them are, but bunches of them. So 6B, 5B, 6B, LC, XL, XD. XD is 8 inches deep and the LD is 8.5 inches deep. So the LD would be the better fit. I had a TPXD. It's essentially the XXL without the side pouches. I'm trying to make the SPMC work, but I would like it without the side pouches, and it's tight to fit enough tools in it. Now that we are through the first quarter of 2025, do you have any potential candidates for your top 10 of 2025? I'd have to be thinking about what I bought since January. That's always, that takes me longer for that, just to make sure it's something I bought in 2025. I'd have to go in through there and look at my truck. When did I buy the M18 Rover light, the foldable Rover light? I don't remember when that came out, but that would be one of them. I use it all the time. I love it. I didn't even think I'd really like it as much as the M12 one. I was just buying it so that I would have it in case I wanted a little bit bigger light or for certain situations, but I don't even hardly ever get my M12 one out anymore. Which flavor Little Debbie's are the ones you like so much? So it's the peanut butter cream pies. They were released. They're not that old. It's not one that was like out whenever I was a kid or anything. It's a newer thing, but they've been out for a little while now. But they just recently came out with Nutty Buddy peanut butter cream pies, which is just the peanut butter cream pies covered in a chocolate coating. But the peanut butter cream pies are the ones I like. They're almost equal, but the LD has pockets on the sides. Yeah, so that's why, and that's another reason why I think the LD would work better for him, because if the whole inside is going to be pretty much that meter, this is going to be the space that he's got to put some hand tools if he wants to. I don't like the sides on the LD as much as like the SBLD, because they're not broken up. Like there's not a lot of little pockets and stuff like that. There's like to keep your tools separated. So every time you take one out, they're all going to shift all the time. I went TPLC, TPXD, TPXL, and then downsize. Yeah, so I started out with TP4B. Actually, I started out TP3B. Then I went TP4B. Then I went TPLC. Then I went TPXL. I didn't like it. And I didn't like it for the same reason why I'm not too tickled with this one. But the fact that it doesn't have all that stuff on the side and all that kind of stuff, it's okay. I'm treating that like my TP4B basically, but it's got a cover on it. That's why I like it. But I went to the TPXL and then I went to the TPLC. I like the TPLC a lot better than the XL because the base was a different, like it was wider than it was skinny, so it wasn't near as tippy. And then after the TPLC, I bought those two at the same time. I've not even used this bag yet. I got this for the spring promo last year and got the DP3 for free. And then I sold the DP3 for pretty much, so I ended up getting this for like 30 or 40 bucks or something like that. I bought a pair of appliance jacks off Amazon. Couldn't justify $99 for a single Klein, or you mean DeWalt? Or Klein probably has them now. I don't know. I haven't seen Klein ones, but it wouldn't surprise me if Klein doesn't have some lifting jacks out there. They got everything else. Clint Cole said, like and subscribe. Appreciate that. I saw people put their M12 on the holster pouch handle down. It works better that way. Yeah, I saw somebody, like this. Might have been Tools and Tactics or somebody. Like you can put it like that right there instead of like this. I don't know that only way I might use this is just to hang something up in my truck and just to put like my surge or something in, but I don't know that I'll ever wear it. The only thing that I did think about using these for is, and then I might just leave them on there all the time, which this isn't the one that's in my truck, but like my Atlas vest, I could leave them, even the holster one or whatever. This one's the 1819, but the 18, I'm not using this one right now. I just bought this one so in case something happens to my other one. Because, I mean, I really like them, and it takes you 16 months to get one. So these have these on the side right here. So I can pretty much, I could put these on here and just leave them on there. The zipper on this one's, you got to get it lined up just right. My other one's not like that. It's like these, they got this double zipper thing. If you don't have them pushed down all the way 100%, then it won't go. Yeah, so the other one's here. So I can put this one on my vest. Just leave them on there all the time because I don't really use them for anything, but I don't know that I will. But that's an option because I'm not using them on my bag, and I don't really need the tool pouch because I've got every MP pouch that there is, and I prefer the MP pouches just because the tool holes are bigger. Because that little small pouch, it's pretty much, I guess maybe you can fit some screwdrivers in the side, but it's gonna be pretty tight unless they loosen up over time. So yeah, I mean, you could get those to hold screwdrivers, I guess. So this is basically a lot like the MPX, I guess, but it's still not really though, because the MPX, the pockets are definitely bigger, and even like this pocket's even a little bit bigger. So it's very similar, but this is still even a little bit bigger, and this one's pretty small in my opinion. So, but I will say I do kind of like this, like the fact that you could just take this and put it straight in your pocket. It's pretty nice. So I do like that about it. Wolf box will fit in there. Yeah. Man, I actually really like that. I've been using it quite a bit. The wolf box. Scroll back up. Let's see what we got. I probably missed some people. I'll go ahead and show Andrew's in here. I actually just filmed something right before I went live. So Andrew's going to know why I bought this for. Andrew's going to know that. But I made a video. I gave him some props. Let's see. Steve said, what are you storing in your meter pouches on your new bag? I still haven't really set this one up yet. I concentrated this week on getting this one lined up and all that stuff, and then getting it going, and then I'm going to be working on that one still. Because I wanted to see what all wouldn't fit in this one, because I'm not running a meter or anything in this bag. This is just going to be I'm grabbing this out of my truck for work that I'm going in to do, because again, I don't do electrical all the time, so there's no sense to me. I want a bag where it's just very few tools, which a lot of times in the past I've used my MP pouches kind of in that way, the same way I'm using that, but you can't carry everything in an MP pouch, like bits and stuff like that. So that's kind of what that bag is just going to be, like I'm going in to look at something, probably not going to be electrical work, and then I can just grab a meter with it if I'm going in to do electrical work. I have a XXL blackout SPMC and a Tech MCT blackout for sale. I hate dealing with people on Facebook. Someone tried to trade me an old broken down refrigerator for one of those bags. Yeah, it's got to be something else. I had somebody that was supposed to buy something from me, and I think he messaged me like last Thursday or Friday, I think, and said, and he even said he'd Venmo me the money. And I was just like, no, I said, I just as soon wait until you see it. Then you can decide. I don't want you to go ahead and send me money. I'll hold it to you. I'll hold it for you till Monday, because it was somebody who wanted to meet. I only meet people like while I'm working and while I'm in town. And crickets all this week. As a fellow snack junkie, besides the little Dubby oatmeal cream pie, I like a good Pop-Tart with my afternoon coffee. I like, I haven't ate Pop-Tarts in a long time, but my favorite used to be like the brown sugar cinnamon ones. That's the ones I really liked. I hope Veto makes more magnetic holsters. Yeah, I like that idea on it. Now, I don't know if once you got, like, as long as you put it on a belt, I guess it wouldn't matter. But once you get up to like the MP2X or something, I think if you put that like in your pocket or something like that, it'd probably be a little rough. But again, putting it on like that, something that's actually substantial, like a belt or something, I think it'd be fine. Audio's getting crunchy. And the side whistle came through again. I'm pretty sure. Let me look at my Google, make sure the color's right on it. Let me see. Yeah. The color's blue on it, which is what it says it's supposed to be anyways. I keep my MC as a home grab bag, perfect for most home repairs. What's up, Ted McDonald? Muffs. Can you see muffs? Oh, yeah, you probably could see them down there, I guess. Yeah, so these are, I ended up buying these. Got several suggestions from you guys, but these play radio, and that's what I actually prefer that. But you can plug up your phone with auxiliary jack too if you want to. But they actually, I can still hear my lawnmower and all that stuff. It's not like they're like sound canceling or noise canceling or whatever they are. I mean, they do to some extent, I guess. But the I like them because they just took AA batteries and play the radio. So I ended up them for a while, but they work pretty good for as far as running the lawnmower. What kind of line laser do you run? So I've got a Bosch. This is the one I take to jobs where I know I'm going to use one. And it's 12-volt Bosch, takes the batteries. I've had it for a long time. So it's 3-plane GLL3 330. But the thing I like about it is I've got the line receiver and all that stuff, which this works for pretty much any of them. It's got pulse mode and green. But the accessories that come with it, I do a lot of drop acoustical ceilings, and this is phenomenal right here. But I don't keep this one in my truck. I only test the jobs where I know I'm going to use a laser. I've got the little Sigmund, my very first Sigmund video, because I gave away the second one. So whatever the one is in my first Sigmund video, I keep that one in my pack out drawers because it's so small. So that's the one I get out all the time. It's super cheap. I mean, it works great. I've not had any problems with it. What's up, Max? Waiting for my MCTP to come to Argentina. Don't ask me how much I paid to get it here. Yeah, no telling. Yeah, shipping is crazy. Like from one to another, it gets crazy. I sent somebody something. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was Rob Holland won something, and I sent it to him. And just for it's something super small, and it was crazy. And it's an ordeal too. Like whenever, like if I go to the, that's why some of the stuff, like if I give away something that's got batteries in it, it's an ordeal at the post office as it is. But if you're shipping something to another country, you got to fill out like a ton of paperwork. I don't even care if it's stickers or whatever. Like you got to fill out some stupid stuff, and it's crazy. And I hate the post office. What's up, Painful Well? Check in on the Klein. Check again on Millimeter. Oh yeah. At the back of the TPLD. Yeah, let me run out there and get that real fast because it's in my truck. That was the other question. I was trying to think. I knew I had another one, and I cleaned out my phone on the screenshots. And I was like, what was the other question somebody asked me? And that's what it was. Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right set. I'm pretty sure this is the one that you're talking about. So this is the let's see, it's got the numbers on them somewhere. Where they put the numbers on these? 65-400, I think it was. Yeah, 65-400 Connect. The set that you're talking about, just to make sure I was looking at the right set. Painful. I got something in there wrong. It ain't wanting to shut. Let's see. Is it that one? There we go. So he was wanting to know, I think it was this set, and I'll see it here in the comments here in a second, if it would fit in the back pocket of the TPLD. And I told him yes and no. One is the TPLD. It's got a couple tool pockets. Y'all probably won't be able to see it. It's probably going to be dark, but a couple tool pockets down inside of there. So you have to almost, like, it's going to hit those. So you'd have to sit there and mess with making sure those are smashed in all the time to get it in and out. I don't think you'd want to deal with that. But you can get it down in there. But it goes about like that right there. So will it fit? I mean, if you're okay with carrying it like this, or maybe you tuck this back in behind like that. So that's up to you if you feel like that's fitting or not. But I think putting it in and out like that, maybe once you got it worked in, kept those pockets smashed flat, they would maybe stay that way. Or if you figure up some way to stick some Velcro on the inside and push it to where it stays or something, you know, you can kind of carry it like that right there. I knew there was two questions. I couldn't remember what the other one was, so I'm glad you came in here. It's so new to my look, Andrew said. Yeah. I got rid of my old XL for 80. Tech XL is on the chopping block next. Yeah, once it's all said and done, I'm gonna get rid of some for sure. And I still got the Tech Pack MC over here, or blackout, that I got. Another SPMC coming on the way, so I got this. So I'm gonna have to do some weeding out of bags, which I think my buddy that I work with is gonna want. And I showed that to him. He came over to my job one day this week, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "Where'd you get that at?" And I told him, I said, "I'm supposed to have another one coming," so he's probably gonna want to buy it. Steve's been wanting to buy a new bag, and the guy never showed up. Yeah, it's bad. You can't even buy stuff on Facebook Marketplace. They don't want to sell stuff sometimes. You should do a video about proper tool community etiquette. It's just it's a small glimpse at society trying to sell something on Facebook Marketplace. I learned that the MPX is too small for what I want, and figured the pouch and the SPMC was the same. Yeah, it's actually a little smaller, so like you said. And you could take the MPX if you had one. I think you can, but it ends up on that belt clip. So any of your MP pouches, because I had kind of thought about whenever I saw this bag at first, I was like, well, I'll just take off those pouches altogether and I'll make myself a phenomenal tool bag, putting MP pouches on both sides. But it kind of hangs down too low. Now you could possibly do the kickstand, but I don't, once you get up, maybe the 2X one would fit in there. I don't know if it would or not. So you can put the kickstand in there and do an MP pouch on the side like that. So if you got some of the MP pouches, let me see, I'll get the, what I do with the one. This one's pretty similar to the 1X as far as that kickstand size. So yeah, you got a MP1, or shoot, I could do that and leave that one in there and have a little loop up here to put something on. So there's an MP1 on the side of the SPMC. So if you felt like you needed just a few more tools, you know, you could do something like that. I got the same shirt Ted McDonald said, and I got a bunch of these. I always buy them off of, I find them on eBay. I search my size on eBay all the time for this kind of shirt because I wear them to work in, so I don't want to spend full price for them. You think most people can get away with just a set of metrics? It all really depends on what you do. Most of my work is actually, like, there's certain parts of my work that's all SAE. So like I never run into metric whenever I'm dealing with HVAC or electrical. But if you go, like, if you're a person who puts together, so if I go install TV or put together office furniture, what else do I run into that's metric? It's all that kind of stuff. Stuff like where stuff comes from China and stuff for sure. It's like it's all almost metric all the time. So it really just depends on what you do. You can attach those magnetic pouches to the side corners of metal cabinets and closures while you're working. I found that incredibly useful. Yeah, I actually tried that just to see if it would work too. Let's see, is it here? Yeah, I was curious about that myself. I don't know if it's in the frame or not, but so like if you open it, I don't think it sticks. Yeah, it doesn't really stick very much like that, but if you open that like that and you don't have a lot of weight, it just depends on how much, as small as that is, you're not gonna have very much weight on it. You know, you can stick it, or the best way to do it would be like if you open up a panel door and you stick that over something. So say that was like you open up the panel door, you know, you slide that over top of it like that. You could do something like that. Crunch seems to be sound related, certain words, etc. Maybe audio settings. Well, I can't, there isn't any settings like that YouTube lets you set anything on that I know of. I mean, there could be, but I don't know. You're a right-wing extremist. Listen to that AM radio. No, I always listen to the radio station that plays 80s and 90s music. There's one here locally that's all they play. It used to play 70s, 80s, and 90s. And now I think they've swapped and play 80s, 90s, and some 2000s. And just within the last year. I, like Matt said, I love them because there's nothing to mess up. I like them because they just take regular batteries. I get so tired of trying to remember to make sure I charge everything and all that kind of stuff. Like tool stuff that goes in my truck, it's not a big deal because I just get out of my truck every day. As a battery runs low, a flashlight, whatever, I just stick it on my the console by my driver's seat. And then as soon as I get out of my truck every day, I come in here, put all those things on a charger. Then in the morning before I get in my truck, I come out here, grab them off the workbench, put them in my truck. But stuff like that I'm only going to use at home and it wouldn't need to be charged like after every time I use it type thing, I know I'll forget and I'm going to come out here to go use my lawnmower, put those on, it's going to be dead. First little Debbie's, now lasers. 1 L remaining. I got my skid steer out yesterday and changed the bucket over to the tooth bucket just because I was wanting to go ahead and do that so I'd have it. And I was just driving it into my woods, just hitting some vines and stuff like that, just doing whatever. And I went through these vines, and then, I mean, I just went boom like this. I was down to the frame, no wheels touching anything. And I thought, man, how am I going to get this out of here? And I ended up being able to hook it up to my truck with a chain, and I had Miss Maintenance drive my truck while I was sitting there messing with it, trying to get some traction. But I finally got it out. But the driving, I had those on was what was making me think of it. I had those earmuffs on when that happened because I was wearing it for that too. Painful Will said that's it. I'm finally catching up to that, I guess. Chris, I hate the post office too. Horrible. Yeah, I can't. I'm thankful that Miss Maintenance usually goes and does all the post office stuff for me. Chris got the MCTP. Do you have a go-to multimeter? So the Fluke 324 is the one that I will carry into something that I don't know what I'm getting into, just because it's got more settings on it. I mean, it doesn't have a bunch of stuff. It's got everything I need. But I like my T6 1000 Pro for electrical work. I like it probably better. But it doesn't have capacitance. So there's some stuff where if I'm going to like somebody's unit's not working, their HVAC unit, of course, a lot of times it ends up being the capacitor, so you're going to need to check it. So I'd have to have that meter with me. So that's why I normally just carry that one for certain jobs, because I know that it's got some settings on it that the T6 1000 Pro didn't have, but I like the T6 better. Do you have a 6364 socket? The pouches stick real nice to my van shelving, just like you showed with that angle bracket. Advice for finding more handyman jobs. Do a really good job on the job that you're on. That's all. I mean, that's all I do is I don't search out work, and then I pretty much just word of mouth. That's all I do. So one customer tells the next one. I don't hand out business cards. I don't do Facebook advertising. I don't put my phone number on my stuff. Now, getting those small jobs, it takes you a long time to build up a customer base that way. So if that's all you're doing, then yeah, you might have to advertise yourself just to get bulk, because it takes a lot of bulk jobs at a couple $100 jobs to make enough money to be able to do it. But I do bigger jobs for the most part, and then I fit in small jobs around a big job. So like I'll have a job that goes on for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll just work there all day, most days, until I have some service work, and then I go do the service work either after I'm done with that job, or I take a day off of that job and go to do 2 or 3 work orders. So one suggestion would be to anybody, don't just do small stuff if you're by yourself type thing, and not some company that's all you do, that y'all have so much work that you're sending out, property management type stuff and all that kind of stuff. You got to have some jobs that are like guaranteed hours, basically, so that you're not always just trying to find a bunch of those little small jobs. Because it's very hard to, for one, it's very hard to find that many of those. And for two, it's very hard to schedule that many of those if you work by yourself, because it's just something's going to happen where it's going to throw you off. And then you've got all those things backed up. What's the name of the radio station? That's the kind of music I listen to. Oh, I couldn't tell you. It's 100.7 in my area, but it's I want to say it's Sam or something like that. I can't think of what it is. Sam FM or something like that. Can you put the headphones on and model them? Yeah, they're exactly the same as my other 3Ms. I've got a pair of red ones and a pair of green ones. I keep a pair of these in my truck. And then they're basically the same exact thing as those, but they just have AA batteries here, and then you tune the stations just by turning it there. And the nice thing is, like, you tune it, and whenever you stop, like, there's a lady's voice that comes on and says like 98.6, 98.9. So you can kind of get an idea where you are if you're looking for it. And then it's also, like I said, you can plug in your phone or whatever in an auxiliary jack too. So if you want to listen to your phone, and I'd just as soon do that than to mess with Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff. Why? Because I'm only going to be wearing it while I'm mowing, and I'm not going to be like wearing it for all day long or anything like that. We'll see you, Ted. See you, buddy. For your loadout on the SPMC, did you just move everything from the front of the SPLD over, or more purpose built? A little bit of both, but it's actually, I'm surprised how many tools I was able to move over. Like I said, I made a video. I think I'm calling it moving tools from my SBLD to my SPMC. I think that's what I've got it named, that I'm going to release probably this weekend, I would assume, or maybe tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow. I was uploading it just last night. What respirator do you use? So I've got a full face 3M respirator, and then also a small, just a little half face one, but it's just the ones that you buy at Home Depot and Lowe's. I don't wear them very often, few and far between where I need one, or where I feel like I should wear one. There's probably plenty of times I should wear one that I don't wear one. For me, the SBLD to SPMC, 70% of the stuff I was pretty surprised. Like, it's basically like a couple big things that I couldn't get in there, but nothing that I intended to put in there. And like I said, I probably got more stuff in there than what I'm actually going to keep in there right now, but I was just seeing what would fit. That Klein or any of those single strap one with a flat filter in them works well enough. What sort of licenses do you have to do the work you do? Are you a Class A contractor? So in my area, there's a general contractor and a specialty contractor. And really the only difference between the two is if you want to pay more money to get a general contractor's license, or pay less money and be a specialty contractor license. And the only advantage of a general contractor license is I can have more subs work under me if I want to. So I think as a specialty contractor, which a specialty contractor to me is what most places would call, in my area, what they call it, that's what they call it, but it's a subcontractor. That's to me what it is. I can have one other subcontractor work under me on my jobs. So like, if I'm going to do a job and it takes electrical, HVAC, plumbing, all that kind of stuff, I could only have one of those work under me if it was my job. If not, I have to be a general contractor to have more than one sub. And also you have to be a general contractor if you want to do jobs where you got to pull a permit. So if you're going to actually do anything that's going to require a permit in my area, you have to be a general contractor. Or like if you go, the thing about my area too is if like a homeowner can pull a permit on their own house for whatever, so they could pull a permit and I could do the work and they could still get it inspected and all that kind of stuff if it was, something that needed permitting and all that. Or again, you just have to be a general contractor. So that's really the only two things in my area. There isn't a lot of like specialized things and stuff like that for contractors anyways. Now you have licensed electricians, plumbers, HVAC, all that kind of stuff. Appreciate that, Chris. All of our park maintenance crews wear those while on mowers all day. Seeing you wear those headphones, I have no doubt you're going to be a world-class citizen on that lawn mower. Yeah. I didn't wear, I've started to get better at wearing at least hearing protection. And it's only because, like, and it might even be too late for all I know, but everybody I work around that's older than me has hearing aids, can't hear. And so I'm like, man, I need to be doing something. So like I just was putting in, so at the quadplex this week, I put in all the exterior columns under the porches, and they were aluminum columns, 6x6 with, 8x8 covers and all that stuff. But I was having to cut them to length, so I was using my little M12 circular saw, the first version, fuel version, and I keep a metal blade on that one all the time, and man, it worked perfect for those. So I was cutting all those, but I work here in protection. That's something where for the longest time I would have never done it. And then also using the hammer drill, I was going around anchoring all those to the concrete porches. And then I went around and put door stops on a bunch of outswing doors into the concrete porches. And so I started wearing I basically was wearing these like this type of thing for all those. So I'm starting to try to get better at that. That's not something I've been good at my whole life. Russ said, sorry I had to leave, but curious if you like the new M12. Have you used it at all? So I've used it quite a bit, putting in Tapcons. It works. It's a little bit better than the previous version of the fuel, a little bit faster, I guess I should say. Not necessarily as better, and it's not so drastic on the drilling aspect of it that I would say, well, if you've got the old one, it's worth upgrading to the new one. Chisel feature, I still haven't got any footage of it yet. That's why I've not done a review for it. I should have got some while I was chiseling up that thin set on the bathroom, but I got to where I was going to town on, didn't even think about it. The only thing is, it seems like to me on the chisel feature, like all of them, you kind of got to press on it to activate it type thing. But for some reason, it seems like on that M12 one, you got to press super hard for it to kind of kick into the chisel mode. It seems like it's more than what any of my other ones that I've ever used are anyways. But it still works pretty good as far as for what I've used it for. So I've used it to take up some thin set where I had to take up a few tile that were already cut to go around that vanity. I had to take those up and put in full ones, so I had to get that thin set out of there. So I used it for that. And that's pretty much the extent of what I've used it for so far on the chisel mode. I mean, I played with it some, just hitting something with it. I'd used it for something else, and I don't remember what it was now. And it works good enough that it's worth having, but it's like I don't feel like it's as, I don't know what the right word for that is. It's not like as responsive as some of my other ones are. Like you really got to press pretty hard on it to get it going. It's only 10 holes, good enough. Yeah, it's definitely drilling holes, like super small too, compact. I do feel like it's a little bit easier to use too than the old one. Doesn't feel like it's got as much vibration power wise on the drilling aspect of it. It's not like, oh wow, this is like a total different tool or anything like that. How often do you guys use a router? I used to use a lot. I pretty much mostly use one now for mortise and doors, whether it's hinges or latches or whatever. That's the bulk of what I use one for anymore. Sometimes on laminate countertops, if I put the edges on, I put on an edge bit. That's the bulk of it, really, because most of the stuff that I do trim wise and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of already, whatever it is, they're buying something that's already like already a molding of some sort, to where I'm not doing any kind of that kind of work. Wish I had started using hearing protection sooner. My ear rings all the time. It can be quite noisy. I had tinnitus before doing shop and contracting work, and it got way worse. Wear hearing gas. Yeah, like I said, I don't notice anything. I don't have ringing or anything like that, and I haven't had any problems where I feel like I don't hear something. But I just know that it's the nature of the beast, just based on looking around at the guys that work around me that are older than me and been doing the same exact job, and they all have hearing aids and they all can't hear. Then put two and two together. If it's all the same, they're all doing the same stuff. It's what's going to end up happening to you too. Do you think the new M12 subcontract drill could be an alternative for the installation driver? Not really, just because it doesn't have the heads and stuff for it. Now, it's an alternative just because it's small and compact to fit in spots, whereas you can take the heads off of that driver and get it in some tight spots. I don't know if the power's kind of the same, but the fact that you can't put that right, I like the right angle attachment on the installation driver better than any other right angle attachment thing like that you can put in an impact or anything like that, because it's stationary. It frees up a whole hand, whereas you got to hold that little I might have one in here. I used to. I don't know if I do or not though. I don't think I do. But like all the right angle adapters that you put in your impact, they swivel, so you have to hold the trigger. And then if your screw's falling on and off, you don't have any way to hold that screw. That's why I like the installation driver better. Video has some choppy times. I might need to check because last time I was out here, I had my Wi-Fi set to some other stuff. I might need to check my phone, but if I do it now, it's going to end stream. So I might not have something set right on my phone. Lock camera says tinnitus sucks. Can barely hear my wife. Is that true, or is that selective hearing, lock camera? That's what Miss Maintenance says too. But that's selective hearing. Belmont, really enjoyed based opinions. You call it like you see it. Appreciate that. My girlfriend gets mad because I can't hear her. She's very soft spoken. Now I mumble real bad. That's why sometimes I talk louder. Probably when I'm doing this, it might seem like I'm talking loud because I don't mumble as much if I talk louder. But I mumble a lot, like just in general life. Miss Maintenance says I'm bad at that, so I try to talk louder whenever I'm out here on this, so I don't mumble as much. Oscillating tools are the worst. Yeah, they are the noisiest, probably. My SDS is the only corded tool I have left. Yeah, I don't know about on a bigger SDS. I need to get a new. I've got a super old Milwaukee one that takes like spline and stuff and all that. And the last time I got it out, it just didn't ever. It's super old. Know that I thought about getting the M18 cordless version, but most of the time whenever I'm using one of the big ones, I'm drilling like a 4-inch hole through something that's going to take a while and all that kind of stuff. And again, I normally work in places that have power, so I don't know that I'm going to go cordless on a bigger SDS drill. All guys mumble. Only her. I can hear everybody else, but I do have tinnitus bad. 40 years of beating on safes. Girlfriend's a teacher on peanuts at times. I inherited some of that part of that word. Just attach a cord drill to the hood of your truck, drill it really good. So the place where I took my sewer camera and filmed that Beaver camera video and unclogged that drain, well, that sewage up into a different apartment, and we just got done replacing the floor in there, and it got backed up again some point in time over the last couple days, and just backed up again all over the floor, brand new floor. So but it ended up somebody else worked on the unclogging it because I wasn't going to be able to do it anyways. But so I can go unclog it this time or run a camera, but it's the same problem. But I just thought it was crazy. Like literally just got done laying the floor, and it was like 2 days later, water all over the new floor. You mentioned the M12 European version of the installation tool, so I went down that YouTube tool. Yeah, I think it is basically like it's been a long time since I looked at it, and somebody just asked me about it a while back. So the only reason why It's basically a M12 like this, but takes the different heads. That's the same as the installation driver. But I really like the D handle, so I'd just as soon have it, I think. But I do get that that's probably a little better. Yeah, I can see where that picture just got grainy on my iPad. Yeah, I bet there's something. I bet I didn't change my settings, and I wonder if it's pulling off the Wi-Fi from my house instead of pulling off out here. That might be why it's not working as well. So hopefully I'll get that fixed before next time. Let me open my. I'm gonna open my garage door. Maybe that'll help get some more signal out here. Maybe I'm blocking too much from my, if it's coming from my house. Because there's no reason why my internet shouldn't be. It should be pulling off that, because with it being the mesh system, it should be the same. But unless it's just not set up right, I didn't check it today. I meant to actually check it before I came out here and to see. Up the likes, people. I think that helps the quality as well. Yeah, I saw it get blurry on my playback there a second ago. But I had to, with my other one, the temporary router I put out here last week, I had to actually physically change my Wi-Fi to that router because it wasn't in my mesh system. But that one should automatically switch if that's the better one whenever I'm out here. The heat from your breath and your hands aren't in the air, right? So y'all buy anything new this week? I actually haven't. I don't think I bought any tools this week. I haven't found any anyways that were something that I just had to get. Tin foil and a coat hanger. Yeah, I don't know. It might be pulling from my house one. Maybe this one's not working right. Like I said, it was supposed to be the same exact one, but it was a little bit different. But it should still be working. It said that it was working. I got it all plugged up. It's this here, the Google Wi-Fi. If this one ever kicks the bucket, I think I'm gonna try the TP-Link mesh system. But I've had this one for quite some time. But I got it and tested my mesh, and it said great connection, all that kind of stuff. But I meant to run the tests before I came out here for this, and I forgot about it. Ordered the Mazzo X and the new hammer sheath and the Flux X. And Matt's also only a few weeks away from getting his Atlas vest 1 year later. They sent him an email. Where'd you get those black Klein wire cutters? So, wire cutters, you mean the strippers that I just did the video for? Those were, I got mine from House of Tools, which is spelt like, I know I just threw it, yeah. Spelt like that, houseoftools.com. They're also on Acme, but of course with Acme, I think they're on Acme too, but you got to, the whole shipping thing with them. But House of Tools is always a little bit more expensive than everybody else. So if the shipping's not very much at one of those places, it's all the same. That was the only places I think I ended up seeing them at. No tools, but Home Depot finally built my shed. I'm officially a shed owner. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ask my wife's family. Her uncle lives up the road, and he's a farmer, has all sorts of tractors and augers. I think he's got an auger. I'm gonna ask him this weekend if he's got one, if he'll come up here and drill my holes for all my posts to build my barn around this barn. So if he's able to do that, then I might go ahead and get my posts and start getting them set, because I should have a little bit of time coming up in the next little bit. Just the appliance jacks and a pair of Skechers. for me and my wife. 5-shelf set of wire shelves. I set that up today. I just ordered a bunch of wire shelving for that quadplex, the wire shelving and the blinds today. I'm putting those in. I went ahead and decided I'm not remotely ready to put closet shelving or the blinds in, but I went ahead and ordered them because I don't know what's all going to happen. So I want to go ahead and get them ordered and have them here. Yeah, the strippers. Just ordered an M12 fuel extended reach. Hopefully be here next week. Nice. I haven't tried any of the. I like my M12 ratchet though, and it's actually like if you buy the. So just to give you a heads up, I don't know if I got one of them in here or not. I should have. Let's see. They might all be in my truck. But you can get you one of those socket adapters to 1/4-inch drive. And it's like having a little right angle drill kind of in a way. You can kind of use it for that. Appreciate that, Todd. Looking to outfit a tool bag for my boy. Which of the big online stores typically has the best money for a mess of hand tools besides Amazon? I think the prices on like Acme, if you get over to where it's over X amount of dollars and the shipping's free, which the shipping's not crazy on those websites. I mean, it's not super high. I've ordered stuff from them before and paid shipping, but Acme, I bought stuff from them, had pretty good luck. I mean, Home Depot, I buy a lot of stuff on Home Depot. But I buy a lot of Milwaukee stuff, so that's typically who has it. I spend more money at Home Depot than anywhere else. I pretty much only buy Klein stuff at Lowe's. Tools wise, that's pretty much about it. I don't even think I ever buy any other tools unless I go in there and they got something on clearance. It's something weird that I'm just like, oh, I'd like to try that. But Acme carries quite a bit of stuff. Ohio Power Tool, I bought from them. So if their prices are good, they're not bad. I've got stuff from them before. House of Tools, like I said, they're a little bit more expensive than everybody else. They got free shipping. No matter what the order is, it's free shipping, but I think it's kind of built into their pricing. So glad I caught you live. Me too, Jesse. Shifted gears to fix angled sharpening stuff. Got spring assisted stop collars. Matt said all-in-one kits. Yeah, you're better off to build a kit than you are, in my opinion, like what he said, to buy. But if it's the very first set, sometimes it's easier if you find one brand that's just got a kit and then let somebody figure out what they like and don't like type thing. I always have built out my tools just by buying, like, of course, now I've got everything. So I'm buying stuff for pleasure now and just to try and see if I like something better or whatever. But I know what tools I need. But I always never bought a tool as I was getting into this until I needed it. So like once I needed a certain wrench, well, I'm going to go buy that wrench and now I've got it. But I didn't ever buy it until I actually needed it because there's so many different jobs out there that even though we all work in some kind of form of construction or maintenance or whatever it is, like everybody does completely different stuff, even if we're very similar. To where, man, something went down my throat wrong. To where something that I use all the time, another person could never use that tool ever in their whole entire career, and vice versa. So, picked up a few spider tool clips for my DeWalt tools. Yeah, that's another thing that like I'd rather do that than have. I think I left that holster on my. I'd rather put a spider or a holstery pen pal or whatever and do that than whatever I do with my surge. And then that way, if I don't need to take my surge in, because again, there's a lot of jobs. I know I'm going in there. I'm never going to use my surge. It's going to be all hand tools. I just leave that in my truck. And then this isn't sticking out super far like what that holster is with an M12 in it all the time if I don't need one. So I'd rather do that for what I'm using it for. Like I said, if you're using it as a all in one bag, you would want to go ahead and put it on there. Everybody brags about getting strippers. Kiltronics, huge transformer for a solar field go past my house this morning. So on my way in the other day, there was I passed by a big dump. A lot of times it depends on which way I go. And I was getting closer and closer, and I could just see black smoke just rolling. Didn't know what it was, but I was like, man, whatever that is, that's not good. And got up there, and it ended up being like something at the dump. It had caught this huge building on fire, but traffic was getting backed up, and I was like, I guarantee everybody's sitting there looking at it. And it was like, I mean, this is a main road with cars galore, rush hour in the morning. And sure enough, as soon as I got up there, there was people rear-ended all over the place where somebody was stopping to look at it and wasn't paying attention to who's in front of them, just started rear-ending each other. I was like, I guarantee you that I knew that was what was going to happen before I even got to it. But that's what I saw one morning. Lexi finally got the 26-in-1 Weehaw. Used it and dropped it climbing up the ladder. Carousel popped open. Bits went everywhere. What's up, George? Can you recommend a Milwaukee tool for starting out as an electrician? So are you talking hand tool or are you talking power tool? And then what kind of electrical work are you doing? Like big stuff or inside of a house that's residentially? I'm talking to you like outside buried cable, big stuff into big panels and stuff like that, or just small, 12, 14, 10, that kind of stuff. Keep in mind all those clip systems add up. Keep it limited use or be prepared to spend hundreds. Yeah, I pretty much only use mine for my impacts. I do have some on a few other hand tool or a few other power tools, but mostly I got one on my Metabo, I've got one on my Surge, and I've got one on my drywall gun because the thing I don't like about the Spider tool holster is that they swivel a lot, but that's what I actually like about it on my drywall gun, because if I run my drywall gun with my collated attachment on the front of it, if you've got it like clipped in stiff, sometimes it's very weird whenever it's the way it like stays where it's at. I'd rather have it move with me. So the thing I don't like about Spider, sometimes on certain tools, it's a good thing, but that's the only three that I keep a Spider drill pin on all the time. Wings and Pizza said he scored some nice power tool deals from Ohio Power Tool. I still haven't figured. I need to look at my receipts. I need to search because I bought something from them. It's been a couple years ago, and I can't remember what it was because I've got stickers, so that makes me know I bought something from them. But I can't remember what it was. I've talked about it before on the lives. I'm like, I know there's something, but I can't think of what it was I got from them. I haven't bought very much stuff from them. Whatever it was something that I couldn't get somewhere else. I had the stainless pins instead of the plastic. Yeah, I bought one stainless pin. That's what's on my Surge. I bought it mostly because the all my plastic pins didn't come with the right screw for this generation M12, and then they started shipping the right screw with the stainless one. So I went ahead and bought one just to get that pin. But you can also, if you've got the regular belt clip on this, I'd rather carry my SPMC like this too. If you're not going to take it off and wear it as a holster and you're just going to leave it on your bag, I'd just assume just do that right there than to have that holster sticking out all the time. And then again, if I know I'm going into a job and there's no chance I'm going to need an impact, then I don't even have to have it on there. But you could also pull that holster on and off too, the one that comes with it. Have you found any hack deals on Home Depot? They haven't had any good tool deals like for the last couple of weeks. I don't even think they had a power tool deal yet this week. Did they have one all this week? I don't remember seeing one like where it was just power tools. They had a lot of, I think they had a couple days where they had some outdoor power equipment, but it wasn't anything really any good. M12 wire stapler rocks. Yeah, that's a good one, George. If you do electrical work and you're doing NM cable, Romex, and stapling, I would buy that. Like if you do that all the time, I would buy that M12 stapler like today. It's pretty phenomenal. What are you clipping on? Nolster is good if you don't mind the bulk. Yeah, the Nolster is. I like the Nolster. I love it on my tape measures. I don't have any of my tape measures with it on it in here, but all my tape measures in my truck have a Nolster on it. The ones I use the most. BPOPO is a great locking clip. BPOPO or BPOPO. I don't know how they pronounce it, but BPOPO. I'm looking to clip a couple bags, maybe a tool vest. Yeah, Roy, you might want to check out the Nolster. Like it's one of those that it's not coming off unless you want it to come off, but it sticks out. The sticking out part doesn't affect anything other than if you're going to stick it like in a very tight space, like if you're sticking it in a small cavity and you got to reach back in somewhere and get a screw out, or like a drawer or something like that. But other than that, and like I said, I could probably count on my hand the amount of times having the Nolster on my surge that it got in my way type thing. Appreciate that, Jesse. Said what tool is vague? Veto's out of SC45 currently. I just got an email today saying that it was coming back in stock or something though. So they might be getting ready to put it out, or it came in stock and already went out today. I don't know. Spider's great for ladder work, in my opinion. Yeah, I like the Spider tool holster. Like I said, the only thing that I don't like about it, I showed it in that video comparing it to, I think, the Nolster, is that like certain times, like this will get on your nerves while you're moving, and this is doing this right here, but versus the Nolster, whenever you clip it on whatever, like it stays right there. And the best thing about the Nolster is, like with the Spider drill pin, you have to have this. So if you've got it here on your belt, you have to always put your impact here. Versus the Nolster, I could clip it on my pants pocket, and then like if I'm working off of a ladder and I'm holding up something with this hand, and it would be very hard for me to get this to wherever that holster is, I can just clip it right here on my shirt pocket. I can, you can clip it to anything and it's going to stay there. So that's the best thing about the Nolster is you don't have to have a holster. I guess, again, that's what the name is, no holster. But it is a little bit bigger. Like it does stick out a little bit more. So disappointed the meter pockets on the MCTP and MCP aren't big enough for any of my meters. Yeah, I can see that because I was pretty shocked that T6 1000 didn't fit inside there very well. Yeah, they need to put, Veto needs to put on their dimensions on their website on the meter pouches, the sizes of the inside of all the meter pouches, if they're all different. So that, because that's a big thing and you can't check it. I can't just go to a store and see, well, what size is this pouch right here, and then see if my meter is going to fit in there. I have to get the bag and see if my meter fits in it, versus they need to put that on the website. I wrote a program using test software that skims the entire Home Depot website. Provides me with a list of tools that are at least 50% off. That's nice. Matt said he likes to get the clip off the installation drivers and stuff and put it on his impacts, or the stapler. Yeah, they are. They're longer. Roy's been doing some Cat 6 and camera wiring and drop ceilings. Yeah, like I said, the nicest thing about the, I don't have one. I mean, I can go grab one that's on my tape measure real fast. Let me get Nolster. I don't have one on an impact at the moment. I always add it on an impact for certain jobs where I know I'm going to want to be able to just stick it wherever I want to. It's in the back of my truck. So again, I put it on I love it on my tape measures. Like I put it on, and you'd think that would get in your way too, but honestly, I can't tell you any time where it bugs me. But I run it on my tape measures all the time. So it's basically, you clip onto this here, onto whatever. So this is why I love it on my tape measures. Like, not going to come off. Like, will not lose that. But I can also turn around and clip it on my back pocket. I could clip it, here, and it's not going to come off. But that's what I like about it. So if you had it on an impact, this vest isn't the best example of it because it's not the same as my other ones where I got way more spots. But so if normally I'm clipping my, down here or whatever, and most situations that's working out for me, I can just take my impact and put it down here. But sometimes, you're contorted real weird doing some kind of work, and the fact that I can now take my impact after I'm done and just clip it on that if I've got to, just be able to hold it while I'm using my two hands, it allows you to put it anywhere you want to. Versus if I'm using this, I have to put it wherever my holster is. Like I can't, so if this isn't a good spot for me to put it, I can't just stick it up here. So that's the biggest difference. And then other than that, it's the amount that it sticks off there. But I have Nolsters on almost any tape measure I use on a regular basis. I've got a Nolster on it. Why is that pair blue and wiggling at me? What was pair blue? The tape measure? Making breakfast for dinner to go, brother. Have a blessed one. Appreciate that, Jesse. Sometimes provider changes and shipping to U.S. isn't available. You might look at black ship. I don't know who Jacoby. What he asked. Oh, here we go. I missed Jacoby's. Hey, Morgan. I know you responded to my comment on your vessel auto screwdriver about getting them from Amazon Japan. I made a new account on Amazon Japan and it still won't let me order to the US. So whenever you open up Amazon Japan, they're only going to show you stuff that was shipped to whatever address you've got on your account, which the one that I'm using now, if you're wanting a red one, I think that's only on Amazon Japan. Like this one, like I had to get this one from Amazon Japan because it wasn't available. But my 3-speed one that I run all the time, like this one, you can get this on Amazon US. It's $44 on Amazon US, the 3-speed. And I would get the Japan version one that's on Amazon because it's easier to fix that bit play, which I've got my little bit out of this one. Or this is the one that takes the erasers, or I think I took my little bit piece and put it in my red one. to get rid of that play. But it's easier to fix that. But that one's $44 on. You can get it on Amazon US now. So if you watch my video, I bought that one. I bought this one on Amazon Japan, but that was at the time this one was only on Amazon Japan. But now since that video, it's on Amazon US now. So you can get this one on Amazon US. It's in my Amazon store, but I think there's also a link in that video because I think I went back and changed it and added the Amazon US store link. But the red one, you have to get that, and they will only show you stuff that was shipped to your address. You don't want to use the Klein stapler like I do for wire stapling. Matter of fact, I think I got rid of that. I don't remember what I did with it. I don't know if I still have the Klein stapler or not. I'm pretty sure I got rid of it. Not sure if my comment went up, but are you planning a loadout for the TPLD blackout? Probably at some point in time, but I don't know when I'll get to it because I'm Veto heavy right now for getting my bags loaded out. This one I wanted to get loaded out because I was going to be using it like this week. The other two I've got some time to, because I've got everything in my truck that's going to be going in them. It's just not in a tool bag yet, so I've got to find the time to be able to come out here and do some work on them. I'm also waiting on because I bought it on Acme Tools, the TPLD, and got the percentage off or whatever. But whenever I filled out the registration form for Veto, it said something about, you have to send in the receipt and all that stuff. But it said something about as long as you've got a receipt and there was no discounts, but I don't know if that's only on Veto or whatever. So I'm making sure I get the free bag before I use it. Because if I don't get the free bag with it, if they say like I'm not eligible for the free bag because it had a discount or something on it, I'm going to send it back. So that's another reason why I'm not messing with loading it out yet. B1062, the meter pouches on my MCT are smaller than I thought, but my Klein fits decent. Check out the next tool, W4 ratcheting adjustable wrench and multi-tool. You'll probably have to email that to me because I won't remember that. Based on what I've seen, the M12s work best with the Joey clip. The pin pal. Yeah, I like it. Only reason why I'm running the spider one is just because I've got other tools that take the spider one. But I'm probably going to buy more of I love the pin pal on my Joey pouches, like making them to where they swivel. So I'm pretty much, I'm going to convert my Joey pouches all over to that pin pal for sure. And then because of that, I might end up buying more of them for my impacts. But right now, because if I only ran one impact all the time, then that'd be fine. But like what Matt was saying, if I don't want to have to run my pin pal on my Surge and then run spider tool holster on my Tabo when I use it, or my, drywall gun, and swap back and forth. So that's kind of why I put the spider pin on my Surge. It's not that I necessarily like it better than the pin pal. It's just my other tools are that way. All of Dr. Morgan's clips are Joey clips. Yeah, you'd think they'd make a special holstery Joey pouch that had like red and black and some colors on it. I was dying to know this SPMC inside pocket width, another measurement we can't find out till you order it. Yeah, they need to do better. Since you can't go physically see the bags for a lot of us anyways, they need to do better about getting you measurements on certain things. Parsons, a bit late to the project. The bird meter will fit in the meter side of a Tech MCT bag. It's about half the width of the bag. But what about the Tech MCT? Yeah, that's my bag there. I don't think the 4 inches will fit in there though. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know. I didn't check it because I just couldn't imagine that it would. So meter side, the width and the height I knew was going to be fine, but I didn't think you'd be able to fit the 4 inches inside of there. Maybe if you took the, yeah, see, I've only got like 3 and a, I can't get down in there, but even if you take that panel out, it's only going to be like 3 and a something. It was the 4-inch depth was what I didn't think would work with that. I wish I had a way to attach pictures. Not many people with the bird mem. Oh, so you've actually got the meter. So you've got the bird meter and you put it in your bag and it fits. That's what you're saying, Parsons? Not many people with it to demo, I guess. Yeah, I had never heard of it before. But he said he uses it a lot. I'm not sure if the TPXXL has different size meter pouches, but my T6, yeah. Matt said that they're a little bit taller and I think a little bit deeper too. So yeah, like I said, that if they're all the meter pouches are different size based on the bag, they need to give us those measurements so that somebody can buy it. Because if it's a whole lot easier for me to find a bag that's going to fit my meter, that I can find a bag that's going to work for me, but a certain meter that you use all the time for specific stuff, it's like odds are you want to keep using that meter. You'll find a bag that it's going to fit, so they should give you those measurements. It was an emoji on screen for donation, Joey. Bezug uses Black Ship a lot. Nolster would be better for me, would be better for a variety of stuff I get into. So, Roy, I don't know what driver you run, because I will say this about the Nolster. If you've got the Surge, I never had a problem with mine because I got this boot on there. And they've got like a, you won't be able to see it. I might have a loose one. Let me see if I got a loose one. I used to have a loose one in here. I don't know if I still do or not. I don't see one. But they've got teeth on it. And those teeth would grab a hold of my boot and make it to where it didn't end up loosening up over time. But a lot of people that use the Surge, the screw, you have to use the screw that kind of was on here because none of their screws fit it. But I want to say, because that guy emailed me from the company back whenever I made that video a long time ago and asked me if I was having any problems. I was like, no, not really. And he said he was getting a lot of feedback saying that there was. But I want to say they have now provided some sort of an adapter with it that works with this Gen M12, but I haven't bought any, since they've done that. So I don't know. So it will work on the Surge, but it also loosens up over time and spins some for some people. I've not had that problem, personally. What's up, Lewis? Internetus interruptus. Justin Richards, you're welcome, buddy. For the bird meter, if he got the Tech MCT blackout and had the plain panel on one side, and bird RF meter will fit for sure. Okay. So you've got the meter is what you're saying, Parsons, and you've actually stuck it in there. Because measurement-wise, based on what he told me, it doesn't look like to me it fits real well, but it must not be like exactly 4 inches deep, or maybe it's only 4 inches deep, like in one spot where it still fits in there or something like that. Have you used the Vessel round grip insulated screwdrivers? I've got them, but they're just in here in my garage, so I don't use them. in my work or anything, and it's mostly because they don't have a square. If they had a square, I'd probably carry the square ones, but I only keep them out here mostly for the insulated stuff. Lately, I run either the Klein with the flip blades, and then I've been taking this some, but I haven't used this a bunch either though. But I've also got that. Actually, the main one that I kind of use for the most parts, this one here, is Jesus Strong ended up sending this one to me. It's a Veto. You can't find it anymore, but this one I can put any bit I want to in it. So I just use it a lot of times. I don't know if I got, yeah. So, but the Klein flip blade ones that take these, I use that a lot too. But it's because, again, square, I end up using that. I use that more than anything. But that's what keeps me from using the vessel as much. That's why I kind of just keep them here in my garage. I called Veto. They said it's fine. It was a percentage off. They are talking about 20% trade discounts on the Veto site. Okay, that's good. I figured they meant you can't buy like a bag that they've got discount on their website, because I don't know why they would care if Acme Tools gave you a discount of some kind. It's like they got their money from Acme or whatever anyway. So, but that's good. I still haven't got I got the thing that said we've received your, whatever you call it, registration form and the whatever to get the free bag, but I haven't got anything back from them yet saying it's been accepted or anything like that. I'll bet the Japanese version of the vessel screwdriver is more than that now with the new tariffs. Yeah, it was $44 on Amazon US last time I got on there. I know I've got it in my store, but I want to say in any of the vessel videos, I think I went back and added the Amazon US link just because that's so much easier for most people that's in the US to get it than to go create an Amazon Japan account. The price ends up coming out about the same because the screwdriver is cheaper on Amazon Japan, but you got to pay a lot of shipping. So, but it ends up coming out close to that same $44, no matter which way you do it. No added tariff if total imported is under $600. What's the latest crazy job, Justin, this week? I bought many tools thanks to your advice. In Mexico, there aren't many things but eBay and Amazon. I buy a lot of tools on Amazon just because it's easy to get them. There's several things I can't get unless I get it from Amazon, just because local stores don't carry it, like Knipex, stuff like that. There's one supply house one electrical supply house that I go to that carries some Knipex, but it's still not like I can't get anything other than Cobras, pliers, wrench, Lyman pliers, same stuff kind of Lowe's was carrying for a little while, all that kind of stuff. Correct, it fits. The 4 inches is on paper, but in real life, it's not that deep. Well, that's good to know. I'll make sure and tell him that then, because to me, that'd be the better option for somebody than unless he just wants a smaller bag. Like I said, it would fit in here, but you're not going to have in the TPLD, but you're not going to have a lot of room for hand tools. So like if he carries very many tools, the MCT would definitely be a better option. Or I'm assuming he could also, if he wanted to, because this is pretty much the same bag, if he wanted to get the MCTP, he could too. Just order the blackout strippers. Nolster's usually on sale Prime Days or Black Friday when you buy in bulk. Yeah, it is a lot cheaper if you buy like the 5-pack of them or whatever. That's what I bought once. I bought a 5-pack whenever I first ordered some, and then they sent me some. I gave away some. I don't know if I still have. Let me look and see real fast. I don't think I've got one in a package still. Or I was going to say, Roy, I'll send you one, but I don't think I got one. I did have one, extra one, but maybe I think I gave it away during a live or something. Because I was saving one I had in the package to do a giveaway but I think I'd already did. Surge screws at M440. Go to the hardware store, get a socket head cap screw. There you go. TPXXL meter pouches 2x4x8. So there you go. All right, appreciate that, Parsons. Yeah, he emailed me, so I've got his email because he sent me. He was just commenting back and forth with me on the MCTP video, but then he ended up emailing me and sending me a link to that meter. So I'll have it. So I'll send it to him. I appreciate it. I told him, I said, I can't think of any bags I got that's going to fit 4 inches deep. Like there's some of them that were close. I said, but I'll ask during my live on Thursday because there's a lot of people out there that's got a bunch of different Veto bags, and somebody will have something probably. So I can't find that DeWalt screwdriver with the extra battery. Matt ended up sending me mine, but I don't know. They used to have it on Amazon. Home Depot sells it too, I think. Does Home Depot sell the DeWalt gyro, or is it Lowe's? I think Home Depot's got it, but I don't know if they got the one with the extra battery. I would definitely get the one that's got the I'm keeping that in my truck, so to be able to change it to the pistol grip, I think that's worth. I don't know how much extra that one is, but I could imagine that that's worth it. Vito's official take on the discount Acme bag is that it came off their end. Yeah, that's what made sense to me. I was like, I don't know why Vito would care if you got a discount from somebody else, because they should have got the same money from Acme for that bag, whether they discounted to me or not. Says it's $49.90 currently. How often do you take your Klein rollers or Milwaukee pack-out roller into jobs? Probably like a couple times a year. I used to do a lot of work at a mall, at our mall in the town. Like we put up the Santa set every year. Did some work for like basically the mall. Inside of a mall, the mall owns the building, and they've got all those tenants in there. So it's kind of just the same as a strip mall. So there's always, anytime a remodel goes on, there is the tenants portion that they're paying for. And then usually within that lease, it all depends on what kind of agreement they make within their lease. The mall also has some part of the, maybe they've got to put in a bathroom or do whatever, or, at least we used to always go build I forgot what we even call them now, but basically you build a big wall in front of the store while the remodel's going on. The mall always had to do that part of it. So we would go build a wall and drywall it so the work could go on in there. Nobody could see and all that kind of stuff. So anytime I did work at a place like that, I would always put my tools in one of those, because you're going from a parking lot maybe to the other end of the mall and all kinds of stuff, or a factory or something like that. But here lately, I just don't do a lot of work in places like that. So it's very rare. I keep my Milwaukee pack out one in my truck just to keep it more so as a bulk tool carrier, and then I can stack stuff on top of it. But it's in there in case I need it. But if I was actually going to go to a job tomorrow and I knew I was going to roll stuff in, I wouldn't mess with getting that one out and reconfiguring it to use it. I'd just take my Klein. That's why I keep the Klein one over here, is I would put that in the back of my truck and throw the stuff in it that I was actually going to use on that job. What's up, Mac? Of all the Vessel Galaxy Auto screwdriver colors aren't available to ship to the U.S., so I have to look somewhere else. The Blackout XXLs are 9.5 inches by 4 by 2.5. Max said, I find it funny when Casey Tools has a deal of the day, but their price is still 20% higher than the other places. New Woobin light is out now. What's that Woobin light? I hadn't seen any other ones. Yeah, I love it on my tape measures, Roy. He said he's going to pick up some Nolsters for his tape measures. Yeah, like I have never, a tape measure is something I used to drop out of my pocket and stuff all the time, especially you go to moving around and you just bump it and like it will not. And then I tape this on my, I don't have it out here probably, but I carry that little Atlas folio. I got like a little folio with my notebook. So I take that into jobs whenever I'm doing estimating and stuff like that, just to take notes and measurements or whatever. And I take that and just clip it onto my little folio too. So it's a spot where I can just hold it on there. It doesn't come off. I think it's phenomenal. And like I said, I didn't think that, I figured this would get in your way a lot, but in all honesty, it just doesn't, because it's on the opposite side of the tape measure. So it's never really gotten in my way. Not to say there's probably some weird measurement sometime or other where I might would have to stick that somewhere where it's not, but it hadn't been a problem for me. Have you or Matt tried the Klein scribe pencil? Because it sucks compared to the Pica. Yeah, I actually wore it in my pocket today just because it's the one I grabbed out of my caddy to throw it in my pocket. It just catches too much. It pulls out your whole holster, depending, especially like if you wear a shirt like this material right here. The only place where I have it not pull out is if I'm wearing like jeans, but most of my clothes that I wear, like even these pants right here, these are a material that's kind of like a Columbia type shirt. Anything that's slick, that pencil catches in that holster so much that it pulls it out. Which is what you just said. I didn't read the second half of your comment. They discontinued that gyro. We'll see you, Belmont. I've been wanting to get the scribes, and I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't like I said, unless you just love Klein, you love orange, I wouldn't get it. I'd just get a Pica. It is a little bit cheaper, but ever use a Fluke screwdriver set? Jose Meza? No, I haven't had any Fluke tools actually, now that you say that, other than meters. Like that's it. Meters and non-contact volts, basically just electrical testing equipment. I've not tried any tools from Fluke at all. Demising wall, right? Yes, I listened to your board and work talk. No. Demising wall is a wall between two spaces, but I've done a lot of demising wall work. But now they call the wall that you set up out in front of a store something else, and I can't remember what the technical name for it is. But a demising wall is something, Miss Morgan, Miss Maintenance, that I have said before. Knipex screwdrivers, insulated are nice. They have a good grip. Yeah, I haven't bought any Knipex screwdrivers either. Nobody mentioned the Little Debbie's. The warm weather and longer days are back. She just got back from, yeah, Miss Maintenance has been walking. You know, back whenever I first started doing lives, I was doing lives when Miss Maintenance was walking. But it's finally warm enough and light enough where she's going to be doing that all the time now. Knipex or Fluke. So anybody knows Knipex screwdriver set or Fluke, if you've tried both of those, let Jose know. Again, I've not tried either one of them. So Mike said he got the M12 subcontact and really like it. I watched Tools and Tactics video or live or whatever the other day. I was watching him with it. And like I said, it was a little bit more powerful than I expected. But I just don't feel like I've really got a need for it. I don't know if I'll get it or not, but one of these days, if I see some crazy deal or it's hackable or whatever, I might get it to try it. Try Tracer pencils. They're good as well. Yeah, I bought the Tracer all metal pencil, and I like it. That's the one I actually keep in my Atlas Stratos vest that I put on. I just leave it in that vest, so it's not with me all the time. But that's the one where I'm doing a lot of work where I use one of those pencils. But I like it. Have you ever ran into an interior door that wasn't flush widthwise with a frame? If so, what was the fix for the gap on either side. So flush with the frame. Oh, yeah. So your jamb wasn't wide enough. So if it's just slightly, like not very much, you can go around with a hammer and hammer the drywall and kind of get it to where your trim will kind of taper out onto it. And then you can get your trim kind of to it. Now, if it's a lot, like say it's like, you know, 1/4 inch or more than that, I'm talking about the only way you can do that is if it's a very small amount, like it has to be like just barely sticking out type thing. If it's more than that, then typically you got to end up, depends on what kind of trim you're putting on there. So you can take, let's see if I got a piece over here. I've done this a lot of times in the past. I don't think I got any trim, but I'll be able to show you with something else. Oh, sounds broken. Yeah, I'll just show you with this. It don't matter. So you can take and cut. Let's see if I got a pencil. Pencil handy. I know I've got one. They're just buried underneath all this stuff. I'll just use a pen. So if you've got trim that's thick enough, if you're just using normal like door case, and you can't really do this either, but if like a lot of people are going with 1x stuff nowadays, like 1x4s and whatnot. So if it's not a crazy amount, you can come in here, take your table saw and eat out. Of course, you probably wouldn't be using this wide, but eat out this much. And then let this go back and hit your jamb, and then you'll still have the trim out here. But you can't do that with every trim profile, so it just depends on what kind of trim you got on the door. But if it's a small amount, the best thing is just go around with a hammer and kind of, so like if your trim's this board, knock your drywall, hammer it back and behind like this far, and then that'll let you kind of get that trim in there and taper it out some. But if it's a lot, the best you can do really is, if you're not going to replace it and put in a whole new jamb and get the right width, is just add a little piece or something onto it. Holton Ford pencil looks great in infrared bags. Yeah, that's still my favorite one of the pencils. Like, I like it the most, but I just like it that it's more like a carpenter pencil as far as the feel of it. Either the door is warped or the jamb is out of plumb, front to back. Well, or your wall's out of plumb and you put your door in plumb. Sometimes you just got to make your door follow your wall type thing. Weehaw set up the 1000-volt for years. Really good. Yeah, a lot of people like the Weehaw ones. I know a lot of people that run the Weehaw insulated screwdrivers. I think the Fluke screwdrivers are pretty close to being the same as Knipex. They do look a lot alike. I've had hands-on experience with the Knipex. It's one thing they don't do very well. Not a fan of them. I run the Klein flip blades. Matt S. said, yeah, I like the Klein flip blades. They work really well. They flip really easy. I like the Klein handle too. I don't mind it because I like Klein handles. I like Vera insulated screwdrivers only because I like the laser tips. But I also, I like the Klein. I run the Klein flip blade ones a lot in my bags just because it's a smaller package. You carry a lot of insulated dedicated screwdrivers. It doesn't take very long for your whole tool bag is insulated screwdrivers. And it's like, if you don't use a couple of those sizes, but once every so often, it stinks to have, your whole tool bag taken up with screwdrivers. So that's why I like, stuff like this Philo or the Weehaw there that takes the bits. But the only downside to either one of these is like you go to get into a breaker or something like that, you're not going to get in there with this. That's why these aren't great versus the Klein flip blades. You don't have that. That's why these are the ones I actually use more often than not. Is I can carry one handle and have all those bits, and it's got the slim profile on the tips like that. If you're needing 1,000 volt, I'd go Vera or Weha. Do you have a table saw in your shop? I just have, I've got my DeWalt little portable one. That's the one I take with me to jobs. And then I've got a rigid job site saw on a Bosch stand. That's a rolling stand. That's what I used to take until I bought the DeWalt one. Now that one pretty much just stays here. But if I was going to do a lot of work, I might would take it. But that's the one I get out. I don't like to. I thought about buying a big table saw and like having it in here, and then it could be your workbench / table saw, all that kind of stuff. Kind of like you guys watch the. It might just be the Handyman. I don't remember if his channel's got anything else after it or not. But it's kind of like what his setup is in his garage. But I decided I'd spend the money on a track saw and tracks instead of buying that kind of table saw, because I don't really use. I'd rather have that and be able to take it with me, and then still I'd rather have that for even cutting up sheet goods and dealing with a table saw. So I decided to buy that instead of one of those table saws. And I also like this, taking my table saw, like that rigid one, rolling it outside of my garage, cutting stuff in my driveway and getting all that sawdust outside instead of in here. So that's why I decided not to buy one that was a job site one. Mall barricade walls. That might be what it's called, but that's still, I don't think that's what our mall called it, but that makes sense to me. I would call it that. It's basically a big wall that you build out in front of a store, and we still had to finish it and paint it. I mean, it has to look nice. I usually put graphics all over it, coming soon, this or whatever else. So you spend all that money just to have that up there for a couple months, and they tear it down. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Seeing what all I missed here. If you see in your act time, if you're in a time crunch, you can bend file a curve on the trim and make a transition well. I think the Fluke screwdrivers are made from a company in Germany, but not sure. My Klein insulated screwdrivers ended up with rust on the tips in less than 7 months, so now I exclusively use Vera insulated. Anyone tried the Weha 28394? I have to look that one up, but I don't think I have. 28394. I'm gonna do with the one I got. I don't even know what the number is on that one. I don't know the numbers of Weha off the top of my head like I do some other ones. I don't even think this one's got a number on it that I see on the tool itself. Flat surfaces collect stuff. Don't give yourself the space. Yeah, if you took a scan around this room right now, other than, well, I mean, all you gotta do is look at that right there. But that right there is what this looks like, and this is a total mess in here right now because I just got done with 2 jobs where I had to just load stuff in my truck and then bring it in here, and I haven't had time to put it up yet. But it hadn't really been in my way because I've not been loading up anything else yet. Watching your old Milwaukee miter saw video from a couple years ago, was convinced to go with the 7 1/4. I use it more often than not. Again, sometimes I take the 10-inch, even whenever I could maybe do it with the 10 1/4, but it's only if it's going to make it substantially easier for me to not have to cut stuff on a bevel and swap the bevel back and forth like this over and over again. If I can just change 45, with the front, then sometimes if I'm doing a bunch of work, I don't mind doing the bevel if it's just some cuts here or there. Maybe I'm only putting trim in one room or something like that. But if I'm doing an entire, building worth of something, then it's much easier to just put the base up there on the fence and change 45 or whatever and not have to sit there and swap that bevel back and forth. But 9 times out of 10, that 7 1/4 is the one I take with me. I can follow directions and put things together, but it's always difficult when I want to do something on my own, Aaron McCollum said. Yeah, it just comes with time. The more experience you get following instructions and putting things together, that's just like a ceiling fan, for example. I can't tell you the last time I got one out and like really read the instructions on how to put one together, but it's because even though every one of them is slightly different, they're still all very much the same. The only time like I will look at the instructions on a ceiling fan is whenever I see some little weird trim piece or something, and I just want to make sure that I put it on in the right order so I don't have to take everything back apart. I'll just look at kind of the way it stacks out in the picture, but I don't really have to read the instructions or anything anymore. But it comes with time. Like I couldn't have done that whenever I first started putting ceiling fans in. I'd have made sure I read every single instruction and followed everything to a T. But it's just the more you do something over and over again, a lot of things are very similar, even if they're a little bit different. Bought a Viver lift cart, turned it into a permanent workstation. Insulated multi-bit that we all has with longer bits so you can fit them in breakers. Yeah, I've seen that one then. That's the that's the one that I had in my Amazon wish list, is that one then that you're talking about. But I ended up getting this one just because I got this one on sale. Is the only reason why I bought this one. And it has the small bits, but I know what you're talking about, the ones that take like the longer blade bits. They've got a Pocket Max one that only holds so many, and then they've got another one that basically has a ton of blades and stuff with it. But I think I've got that one that you're talking about in my Amazon wish list. Like I said, the only reason why I went with this one was because I got this one on sale at the time whenever I bought it, and I was wanting to try one. I'm still a little leery of how long that's gonna. I mean, I don't use this as an everyday thing, so I'm still a little leery of. I do like, these bits are easy to get in and out, and that stuff's real flexible. But I'm still always a little leery of this stuff. If you were somebody who like used it all the time, how long is that going to last? 95% of my use with a miter saw is a DeWalt 7-inch blade. Cordless one's good enough. Still have the little cutoff piece in your Japanese vessel screwdriver to take the slop out. Yeah, it's not in that one because I took it out and put it in my red one, which I need to take it out of my red one and put it back in this one. And so you can see there how much play that is. I think I put it in this. Yeah, I can see it. So there's my little piece, which I need to make me another one. So again, I just took it's hard for me to get that in the picture, I'm sure, but I just took a bit, like something like this, one of these, an old bit, and cut one of these off. And then you just put it in there. And then now, hardly any play in there. So I need to make me another one for this. But the Japan version, way easier. That's what I'm saying. If you can get the Japan version over the US version, get the Japan version, because you can't put a piece like that in the US version. It's got like a different mechanism in there, and it catches and turns sideways. I ended up putting pencil erasers in my US version. I had to sit there and cut like this kind of pencil eraser. I just got a pencil today from a parking lot. Had like a little trade show thing going on. So I had to keep shaving little eraser pieces like this off, stuffing them down in there, poking them down in there until I got the height right. And of course, that's not going to come in and out very easy. So you wouldn't be able to swap back and forth, which a Japan version bit won't go in it anyway. So, but you're not going to hardly ever get those back out. So I wouldn't buy the US version. I'd buy the Japan version. Pocket Max is good. I need to invest in a track saw. Have a table saw I use once a year. Yeah, I kept thinking about getting that big table saw, but then I was like, man, most of the time I only really cut small stuff on table saws anymore. Like I'm changing a 4-inch board to a 3.5-inch board, or cutting off 1/2 inch of something. It was very rare that I cut sheet goods anymore with the table saw, just because it's just so cumbersome with one person, unless you've got like an outfeed table, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, man, I just want to get me a track saw, and then I'll just keep using it. I've never had any problem with any job site saw I've had doing just as good a job cutting off little pieces of this and that, ripping down boards and stuff like that. So I would like to have, which I love the DeWalt, the fence on the DeWalt, that rack and pinion or whatever it is they call it. I really like it. I do like the fences that's on the big table saws, you know, like the big T's. I do like those a lot better than like the ones that come on job site saws and stuff like that. But some large enough flat surfaces collect cats. Miss Maintenance said I'm looking at a cat sitting on my kitchen island right now. What do you think of the Stabila Dark Shadow Tech? Yeah, those look nice. The 196 spirit level. I've seen them. They look nice. The Stabila digital levels are phenomenal. They're expensive, but they're phenomenal. And that's just like setting all those columns. They're aluminum columns, 4 pieces, so that you can put them around posts. But we were just using them as they were. They can be standalone. They're structural columns that we were putting in this week, and of course they're going to be straight. Like, it's not like you're dealing with lumber where you might have a bow or crowns and all that kind of stuff like that. So I was able to just use my little digital Empire torpedo level, just sticking it on those. That's all I needed until I got to 90, you know, making sure I had it on 90 both sides. And I didn't have to sit there and look at bubbles or whatever. I just kept sticking on there, and 89.7, bump it a little bit, 89.8, bump it a little bit, 90, boom. I love the numbers instead of looking at bubbles. What's up, plumbing? Is it dinner time? Miss Maintenance is what Matt said. It's probably getting there. I just noticed what time it is. We've been out here for a while. Now that plumbing's in here, I'm gonna have to get off here. Today I bought Milwaukee's light up level. Milwaukee, I bought a Milwaukee at the place I worked before I went on my own. So I actually bought it like for the company, so that's why it's not mine, because I already had the Stability one, so I wasn't gonna buy the Milwaukee one. But I bought the Milwaukee. It was an extendable level. I think it was maybe a 4 to 8 footer or something like that. Like, my plate level is a 6 to 10 or 6 to 12 or something like that. But it was a 4 to 8 or something like that. It was a pretty good size level though, and it was pretty good. I liked it. I didn't buy I started to buy the Milwaukee digital level back when I first started looking at digital levels. I didn't buy it because it is only the digital, and that's it. And then every time you press the power button to turn it on, it took quite a while to kind of boot up. So the thing I like about my Stabilis, and I don't have any of them that's close for me to get out, it'd take me a little while, is that they have the bubbles on them still. So you've got a bubble level, but it's also pretty well instant. When you turn it on, it only takes like a half a second. But I can also just sit there and use it as a regular bubble level. If I just want to check something real quick, I don't even have to turn it on, you know, so you got both options. And then also, hypothetically, if something ever happened to the digital thing, I at least got a regular level that I can still use. That's a Stability level. So that's why I didn't buy the Milwaukee one. We're going late tonight. I know I wasn't paying attention to what time it is. I'm going to have to get off here and go in here in a little bit. What's up, Andrew? We have the third L. Bingo. Uh-oh. What was the third L? Oh, level. I bet it was level. There you go. I was wondering what your third L was some way. I was trying to think of, whenever you said that earlier, I was wondering, what's the third L going to be? I know it's expensive. Handyman Experience has one. Oh, so the Weehaw that you're talking about, is it for $80? Is that no? So I think the Speedy thing is even more expensive than $80. Like, what's the Weehaw? Is it Weehaw sell the Speedy, the little electric screwdriver? Because I know Handyman Experience has that one. If that's the one y'all are talking about, I've seen that, and maybe that's the number that Matt was saying a minute ago. I was picturing just a regular screwdriver that takes those longer bits, but the Speedy one takes those too. The dark Stabilas are sexy. Yeah, if I didn't already have, which I got crazy good deals on mine. I got my 24-inch and my 48-inch digital levels. I got them off eBay, and they were in phenomenal shape. And of course, you can calibrate them. So as long as the bubbles are good, then you can calibrate the digital part of it. So even if it was off, you can fix that. So, but I got them for about half price. So that's the only reason why I've got both. And I bought the 24-inch one first, and then I found the 48-inch one on such a good deal that I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get the 48-inch one. I'd love to have my plate level be digital, and I didn't even think they had them. But then the R&R Buildings guy, he's got one, but I don't know if they don't sell them. I've not seen them for sale anywhere, so I don't know how he got one unless it was like Stabila gave him one or something. I don't know, or special ordered it or what. 0.000. 103 watching, 7 likes. Hit that button, help a brother out. The Speedy is awesome. I dropped my first one off a 4-foot ladder. It exploded into a million pieces. Yeah, I was thinking that one was pretty expensive. I can't remember. I looked it up because I think I saw the Handyman Experience guy using it, and I was just curious how much it costs because it's kind of like an insulated vessel type screwdriver, but I can't think of times where, like, I understand the insulated screwdrivers. You might as well buy them and just use them all the time, especially if you do a lot of work in electrical. But there's really very few times where I'm working on stuff where I'm like, oh, well, this needs to be an insulated screwdriver. Like, really needs to be. Because most of the time I'm working on stuff, there's no power to it yet, and all that kind of stuff. So not to say that you're not really protecting yourself in case power went to it while you're working on it or whatever, but very few instances where like I'm doing work and I'm like, oh, I really am working on this hot and I need an insulated screwdriver. Seen the Klein power light on sale for $100. I haven't seen that. I pre-ordered it before it came out. It was $2.99 for the kit. Mod box in the corner like it should be over by itself. I like that better than the pack out one that I've got. Again, I've got the very first pack out rolling box, but as far as the box itself and the wheels and how the thing comes, the handle comes off of it and all that, it's pretty good outfit. Like I said, you aren't in here plumbing. I keep the pack out one in my truck, but mostly I'm using it like a big toolbox to hold random tools that I don't get out very often. And then I use it to stack other stuff on top of. But I keep that one in here because, like, if I was actually going to go to a job tomorrow and I was going to have to wheel stuff in from my truck, I wouldn't want to unload my pack out one and put stuff in it. I just take and put my stuff in that and put it in the back of my truck. Dinner time. I'm getting ready to get off here too, Matt. So you're not going to miss much. You've seen the rolling boxes coming soon on the Milwaukee site. No, I haven't seen the rolling box with a drawer. Yeah, what was that supposed to be? The rolling toolbox with a drawer, wasn't that supposed to be like January? I haven't seen one. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and get off here too. Ran over by a few minutes anyways. But glad I got to do a live tonight. I'm gonna see if my internet might not be connected right to my phone. It might have been connected to my house one. That might be why we got some little blurries. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's what it is anyways, because I hadn't really changed anything else. I did get my new mesh thing out here today and get it hooked up, hoping that was going to be better than the other Wi-Fi if I didn't swap over to it. So, but I got a couple videos. I recorded something before I came out here, and then for the live, I got to go in there and see if I can edit it and get it. But I've got a couple videos already uploaded, but I'm just spacing them out so that supposedly I think it helps the algorithm or whatever. But we got the Guess the Trade Saturday. It is Eddie Fisher and a camo TPXXL. And then I've got some other stuff, like I said, that I'll probably be putting out too. But I'm going to do the walk of shame, get off here. We'll see y'all on the next one.